I had suffered paranormal activity and also spiritual attacks, and it grew and grew to the point where it was constant. Every single night I would have some sort of an experience, and I had reached a point in my life that I just wanted to end it all. So I tried to overdose. I went into our cupboard in the bathroom. I collected some medication, and just as I was about to take it, my mother saw me and grabbed it from my hands and just walked away. During my childhood, the early kind of years, I was very happy and outgoing. However, once I reached school age, that's when I kind of felt like there was something wrong with me. So on my first day of school, during the register time, the teacher said my name. I really had a hard time just saying, "Yes, miss." And during that time, nobody knew outside of the home that I had an issue, with my speech. So she had assumed that I am being rebellious towards her. And after school, my parents explained to her that I did have a stammer. And that was the first time that I really could see that I had something in my eyes, wrong with me. So due to me never, being listened and believed, I, grew deeply insecure and angry. I started to hang around with people that were in gangs and argue with my siblings, but end up, hitting them. There was a time when, due to a dispute with my siblings, and I was blamed, and then my mum obviously, asked me about it, and it became very physical towards her. So I hit her one time, I kicked her in her stomach as well. During that time as well, my parents separated, which really made me angry. So when I was 15 years old, I was going to nightclubs for over 18s. The worst, moment that I went through during that time was that even though I was going out, clubbing and, drinking, like I would arrive home empty. So it never solved anything. And that's why it reached a point where I just wanted it to all end. And that's, when I said, okay, the only way is, to commit, suicide. So that's why I went into the bathroom, as I knew that's where my mum, kept her medication. So I tried to take some of her medication and overdose. However, she caught me just in time, and then she grabbed it, from my hand, and then said, "I know what you were about to do." And then she walked away. And that really hurt me, as I, thought that she would ask me, what's going on, why are you doing this? But she walked away. There was one time that I had a strong desire to kill her. During the first few months of university, I was having a lot of health problems. I kept on having blackouts. There were times during the class they'd have to call the paramedics as I was having chest pains. I had already met a young lady from the church. We were on the same degree, actually, on the same course at university, and we had started to become friends. And I could see in her, she was very different from everybody else in our class. She was calm, had a piece about her that drew me closer to her. And I wanted what she had, even though I never knew what she had, but I just wanted what she had. So when she asked me to attend the church with her one day, as they were having an event, I said, yes, straight away, as what she was telling me really interested me. So I started attending with her, and I just noticed that everybody was, nice, polite and caring, and just different than what I was used to. It took me, quite a long time to truly surrender everything. And I had, reached a point in my life where I said, look, I cannot continue like this. I said, God, you decide my future. Shortly after sacrificing everything on the altar and giving my all. I had to sacrifice to those that I had to speak to. I went to the altar. I gave who I was. And one thing I said, this will not end until I receive the Holy Spirit. I had to. There was no other option for me at all. During this time, I allowed myself to really be guided by God. Everything He told me to do, I did. And due to that, I received the Holy Spirit. I emptied myself, I received Him, and it was the most glorious day in my life, because before that, I never felt accepted. I never felt that I belonged. And you know, at that moment, God confirmed that I belonged to Him. And I received a peace inside of me that I had never received. And a joy that I just wanted to tell other people. I remember just, wanting to hug people and tell them about, that they can receive Him like I have received Him. Even one day, a family member said that they saw me across the road and they just saw that I was shining, I was different. I passed my exams, I qualified as a lawyer. There is no way that I could have done this before, due to the way that I speak. I have a stammer, so I was very shy, I was very kind of nervous. I would never, hold a microphone in my hand, but, since, qualifying, I have gone to the United Nations HQ and I spoke there. I have gone on BBC Radio a few times and spoke there about my work that I do. None of this would have happened if I didn't receive God in me. As time went by, I was conquering, achieving things in my career. I saw that there was still something missing, in the sense of like having somebody by my side to share my life with. So I went to the altar again for my love life. And 9 months later, I went to see my family in South Africa. And whilst I was there, I became sick. I became so sick that I had to have emergency surgery to save my life. Due to the surgery, I had to remain there 5 weeks more. Then I started to Google the nearest church to where I was staying. I went to the church on Sunday. In the service, I even shared my testimony, how God had saved my life.
When I first met my wife, when she was giving her testimony in the church, I was there listening, and it touched me inside. And when she was talking about her story, about her life, that time I was praying for my love life. I was praying that God to bless me. And I believed that God spoke to me to say, this is the one. And we have the Holy Spirit. And because of, I believe that with the Holy Spirit, everything is possible.
Seeing my parents divorce, I am the first child of theirs to get married as well. So I really could see that, God, blessed me on it beyond my dreams. I forgave my mother, and, we do have a good relationship now. I sleep well at night now. I don't have any attacks at night. I started an organization alongside my full-time job, where we help the community, we educate them on legal advice. Everything I have now would mean absolutely nothing without the Holy Spirit.